Welcome, Chosen One.
Hey guys, welcome to the Ace of Plays channel, and to yet another fun, entertaining Gwent video that is meant to make you satisfied, make you have fun with the idea of Gwent, even though this current meta, which is almost over, has been a little bit, subpar, I guess. So today I sat down because I wanted to play Regis. I wanted to try to get maybe a couple of good games with Eist Regis, just so I could make another fun video for you. I ended up reaching rank 1 with this deck, which, I was so set on not reaching rank 1 this season, because every time I get sort of on a roll, and suddenly it's Ardal, DJ, Ardal, DJ, full test. And there were definitely a couple of DJs. We have Usurper here. No Ardal, no full test today, which was fun. I have to say I noticed the difference in enjoyment. But yeah, I reached rank 1 with this deck, and it's just a crazy, fun deck. And I mentioned this before, if you can kill Dodric, do it right away. Because you deny Usurper so much value from doing this. Now, let's talk a little bit about this deck. So, the main combo is to set up units for Regis. So he deals 1 damage to everything on a row, of course, and then if something dies, he does it again. If something dies, he does it again. So you want to set up like a 1 and a 2 and a 3. So we do that using light longships, Tainted Ale, stuff like that. We have Nivellen to move 3 adjacent units onto the other row, so we get a little bit of control over the row stacking of our opponent. And then we use Summoning Circle and Eist to pull a great sword from the deck and from the graveyard, and then we play Regis. So he deals all this damage, which is already sick, and then you have 2 great swords boosting self by 1 for each time each unit on that row is damaged. I've played similar decks on the channel before. People seem to really like this, which is why I figured it would be a good idea to try to bring it back, for this week of fun. I guess it's been 2 weeks of fun now. But previous versions, have included Dagger 2 Blades, who of course is like the great sword on steroids. We don't run that because what we're trying to do is row based anyway. So Dagger 2 Blades would really just be a great sword with 1 more point for 4 more provisions. And that's not good. I prefer this deck without Dagger. And we are using those provisions to instead give us more power plays that we play Olaf, Knut the Callous, very strong bronze package, stuff like that to give us a chance to, win round 1, because that's really important. You really want to have last say and a long round with this. So if you lose round 1 and you get bled, then you lose. Like this deck is very vulnerable to bleeding. This version, more than others, are more resilient and have more power, like I said, in round 1, but you can still lose to like strong syndicate decks and stuff like that. And then you really have to alter your playstyle, and to be honest, I wasn't put in that position today, so I don't really have any tips and tricks for that as of right now, but I'm sure people in the comments will have something nice to say about that, so please share your wisdom, share your knowledge. It's really important that we share in this community, because that's how we all get better. That's how I make better videos. That's how new players get better at the game. That's how existing players get to pro rank. Not by watching my videos, but by listening to other people's tips and tricks. So we're getting awfully close to Regis range. We have a 1, we have a 2, we have a 3. Usually that's enough. If you have a 1 and a 2 and a big row, that's usually enough to win. But we have a 3. Of course, the longship is shielded. But yeah. There we go. And we only had 1 greatsword. We didn't have 2 because obviously our leader was shut down. Against Usurper, one thing I did in this gameplay, but I didn't think of mentioning it in my commentary right now, is that I tried to play like 4 strength engines, like I played a protector and stuff, to try to bait out his Shoop, because they always play Shoop. And I didn't want Shoop to high roll into artifact removal, because then we have no greatswords. But generally, you should probably try to have a greatsword in hand against Usurper. Because we're playing them so late in the round, like most of the removal will be gone, so often it will be safe. But if they have artifact removal, then we lose both our ways to get greatswords in the same turn as Regis. So you should probably try to keep a greatsword in hand when playing against Usurper, and try to bleed out his Shoop. Try to get his Shoop out in some way. Now this is Yarpen. Which, you know, obviously tells us right away it's gonna be Spell-a-Tell. Or Skoya-Spell, as I prefer calling it. Spell-a-Tell is such a dumb name. I like Skoya-Spell. And I've seen people mention this deck every now and then lately, so it's a thing. But turns out it's like Dwarfs Spell-a-Tell, which is also something I've seen mentioned. It's like a hybrid where you play spells and I guess Yarpen, and then you also have, you know, the Novigradian Justice into Mahakam Mercenaries, Dwarven Mercenaries. And you have Harold Gord as a finisher, who is a dwarf, so it's... I see why this hybrid has arisen, but I think I would prefer to just play straight up dwarves, to be honest. Now this video is going to be sort of a lengthy one, so it's of course important to stay hydrated. Imstal, sponsor me if you want to. There's no point, I mean, this is a Norwegian brand and very few of my viewers are Norwegian, so you wouldn't really reach out to anyone. But if water wants to sponsor me, that would be great, because I'm an advocate of water. But yeah, drink, guys. You gotta drink something. I mean, I'm dry. I'm dried up. And I gotta speak for like, let's see, how much is left? 23 minutes at least? Yeah, about 25. Gotta leave some time to ramble after the gameplay is over. Alright. Now, I don't know if this deck is just very consistent. Of course, we do have the discard package and Royal Decree. And of course, Summoning Circle is a consistency card. So I guess the deck is fairly consistent, but I don't know if it's the consistency or just a little bit of luck, but I have been able to draw this combo every single game that I played today, and it was amazing. Our opponent drops Harold Gord because I guess they didn't really get their spells off. And also I kind of imagine maybe their entire hand was spells. And you can't really play those on an empty board. As a dump. Now there's Milva. And we have Delirium. I'm considering it, but to be honest, that Milva doesn't pose that much of a threat, so I was just gonna wait and see to maybe see if it got, you know, bigger. Of course, I should have seen this coming, because I've played against this exact type of playstyle with the double immune before, and we end up not killing either one of them, but we got them pretty low, so maybe they'll be easier to Regis. Now the thing about dwarves is that they do row stack, so that's good for us. That is really good for us. But we don't have much removal, so this actually it's kind of rough. and also Scoia'tael very often play artifact removal because they have probably one of the best artifact removers in the game. But this is not Usurper, so we still have Eist. We still have one greatsword. And we're gonna get a big row. This is obvious from the row stacking. So we're gonna get a big row. If we can get a couple of sweeps with Regis, one greatsword should suffice. Now I am trying my best in this game to get those charges out of him. That's annoying, like boosting all those units up. It's gonna make it really hard to profit, I'd say. Now I'm using Knut the Callous as a way to put Dennis Cranmer to 3 strength. I was planning to do this with one of the mercenaries, but then obviously they were all boosted up to 5. But it's okay. I mean, like, really, we don't quite give a shit. That's the great thing about this deck. Like, a lot of the time you fall so far behind, but you're just sitting there like, I don't care. I don't give a damn. Because you just know. You know what's gonna happen. And I know that this longship is gonna die. I did not expect that, but I probably should. But yeah, now noticing what I should have noticed the turn before is that I can fill up that row. So if he has Great Oak, it's dead. If he has the dwarf that boosts by all the dwarfs on the row, it's dead. And he gets a few free points there, but his Crushing Trap is pretty bad. So Francesca Dwarfs, really strong. I love that deck so much. My favorite Scoia'tael deck by far. It's really strong, gets a lot of points on the board, a lot of removal. But, like I said, full row, a couple of sweeps, one greatsword was enough. But the thing is, I got a full row, and when you get a full row, and you pull off the Regis Greatsword combo, the fact that I won by only 4 points, that says something about my opponent's deck. Honestly, like, that's impressive by them. But yeah, here we go, DJ. Now, I'm featuring 2 DJ games in this video, because I played 2 DJ games. They're different decks. The next one is going to be a bounty deck. This one, not so much. This is just more traditional DJ. DJ is a little bit scary because of, what's it called? Eventide Plunder, the card that I revealed. Thank you very much. You know, the artifact destruction card. I mean, I think most of them don't run it anymore. It used to be a one-of in most Syndicate decks, I think. But I think probably, like, it was mostly run to counter DJ Summoning Circle. So I think maybe the DJs themselves don't really bother running it, and when they do, it's mulligan fodder all the way. Of course, I don't know, like this Regis deck, it's pretty telegraphing, but it's also kind of out of nowhere. Just the fact that it exists, like, nobody plays this at rank 2. So if he does play that card, then maybe he mulliganed it. And of course, with the new cards, not the new cards, but like with Svalbard Totem, the Self-Wound package, this deck kind of looks like just a normal Skellige deck. So maybe that helps throw people off? I don't know. Maybe. So obviously Executioner is scary. And I'm not quite sure why he didn't kill that Brawler, because of course I mean, I guess he would have had to use DJ charges, and he doesn't want to do that, which is fine. And yeah, we're just gonna see an eavesdrop. Now we are decently far ahead. I wonder, did I play the long ship here? I played the Tainted Ale to take out the Executioner, thinking that, you know, that would maybe seal the deal. But of course he has Morils, so he catches up pretty nicely. But we do save ourselves some points by killing that, although I think the Tainted Ale is really strong when you're pulling off the Regis, so it probably would have been better to just save that. Maybe just take the pass. We're going to lose the round anyway. So, that it is what it is. Sip. Ah, that is some good water. Proper Norwegian tap water. We a rich country. We got the good juice in the sink. I don't know why I felt the need to say that. So we consider ourselves kind of lucky to get that dry pass. Because of course they bleed would have been terrible. What am I saying? Of course we're lucky to see that dry pass. But I was kind of expecting it against DJ because, you know, they do like themselves the long round themselves. Especially if they are running Summoning Circle, which this boy, spoiler alert, he is. He's playing the Circle. And it's a little bit risky. Like, you really want to use your discard your discard tools before round 3, because there's always that risk of drawing into the Greatsword, making Summoning Circle a lot shittier of a card. But I guess it makes us more resilient against artifact removal. But I've been lucky. I mean, we had like 7 cards in the deck. Only one of them was a Greatsword. So I mean, the odds were in our favor. But you never know. So Slander onto the Scald is fine. And there we go. He's got his own Summoning Circle, and of course that is scary. That is really scary. Because the whole DJ, Townsfolk, Igor kind of deal, that messes us up. I mean, it could potentially mess us up, is what I'm trying to say, because that's also an insane amount of points. Very similar to Regis. And Syndicate in general, they often play a lot of cards that are special cards, right? Which actually makes them very non-interactive. I mean, just makes the coins feel even worse. So this is one of those games, you know, like every now and then, even I have those games where I think outside the box, I set aside my greed, and this is going to be one of those games. Because, I mean, you're going to see, like, he's going to play Ewald, the Barsodi man. And he's not going to do much with it because he's saving his charges for Townsfolk, obviously. And, you know, my Summoning Circle is live. We can actually set up a full board wipe, killing Ewald, killing the Priest, killing the Executioner. And that's pretty good. That is 3 good cards that we can just get rid of. I mean, the Executioner would have been easy to get rid of anyway, but we're gonna do this. And you always want to play Great Swords before you do the final pings, because you can get like 4 to 6 extra points usually, depending on which cards you're playing. But so we wipe his board. We got a shit ton of points. It feels good, but obviously we've all seen what the townsfolk can do, and it's pretty crazy. So he's decreeing out a townsfolk, which, you know, leads me to believe that the last card is Igor. Luckily we have the kill for it, so... Yay! We beat DJ, that's the best thing ever. And as you can see, I'm just gathering up those shards, getting really close to ranking up. Of course, when you're getting that close to ranking up, and you just got out of actually beating a DJ, it feels really bad when you encounter another DJ, because at least I feel this way. Whenever I beat DJ, I don't feel like it was skill or my deck counters DJ. It always feels like luck. And when you encounter another DJ, it's like, oh, we're really pushing this luck, aren't we? But yeah, we got another DJ. And I mean, you just gotta do what you gotta do. And like I said, this is gonna be a more witch hunter oriented DJ. Now, do they not play the townsfolk combo? I don't think I've ever seen a hybrid of those two, so I guess they don't. And that's really good for us, because like the witch hunters, like, they're still strong, and bounty still very, very strong. But it's not as greedy, and our deck is so greedy that if we pull off our thing, really the only thing that can beat us is an equally greedy deck. And the DJ townsfolk decks, I'd say they are equally greedy, for sure. And they're equally greedy in a way that, you know, kind of counters us, because all those townfolk are boosted up. He does give us a 1 strength unit with Igor, but it's not really the same. But yeah, we're just trying to get by on some weaker cards. Yeah, that's what we do. Tomorrow Stringer comes down. He's gonna place a bounty on my Knut, which I'm not gonna let him get off that easily. But that's not okay. You're gonna have to work for your bounties, boy. I'm not gonna do your dirty work for you. There we go. Told you. It's like I'm clairvoyant. It's like I can see into the future. Because obviously I am playing live. Let me check this out. I did my turn. Oh no, he took my protector. Okay, well, I'm gonna play. What am I gonna play? Probably going to be Olaf, maybe. No, I'll go with the long ship. There we go. You know, I'm an idiot. And that's cool. I probably should have gone with Olaf, actually. Put it next to the Svalbard Priest to get some pings on it, so it will actually rise up as a strong, mighty warrior. But, like, really, ended up having to play both of them anyway, and it didn't matter, so it was fine. But in case of a push, it would have been worth more points to do it the other way around. So that's always something to keep in mind. Now, Greatsword, straight back into the deck. You don't belong in the hand. And we take a dry pass. We just do. Like no matter what type of DJ this could have been, we need the long round, we need the big board, we need all the good stuff. We can counteract his greed with our greed. I was born to greed, not to read. I'm having a weird day, okay? It's been a rough week, but then I had all these amazing games, and then I got like really excited to make a video, and like I'm in a good mood for that. But I mean, life sucks, so I'm in a bad mood for that. So I guess I'm a little bit bipolar. No, I'm not. I'm not. Focus on the gameplay, you moron. So we're gonna play. I'm gonna play the Protector next to the Scald in case he wanted to Executioner that, so we could get some free points out of his broken stuff. And that's always fun. But I mean, this, of course, this is what happens. He kills all of our stuff. Witch Hunter Executioner is a 5 provision card. Let us keep this in mind, guys. It's a 5 provision card. 5. And you just play a bunch of uninteractive setup. I mean, it's not completely uninteractive, like you could purify your own bounties, but who besides Assimilate plays Purification? The occasional Syndicate deck, because they have Kalkstein, which is such a strong purification card. Wanna know why? Because if you don't need to purify, he's still 7 for 7, and it gives you coins you can use for other things. Strong. I mean, look at this. He's just killing all of our engines and, gaining points out of it. And my boy here needed some money, so he could make some more money. That's how economy works. I study economy, so I would know. You'd think Syndicate would be the perfect faction for me, because it's all about making money, managing money. And, that's true and all, but Syndicate is... I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I'm not trying to be super negative here. I love the faction, I love all the concepts, all the ideas. I just don't want to play it now that it's busted. But once it gets more in line with the rest of the stuff, then of course I will play Syndicate gladly. I'll play a bunch of Syndicate, and Cleaver's gonna get buffed, right? Right? And we can play Cleaver and commit crimes and stuff. It's all gonna be great. We are approaching the end of this game. Now I could move the Menge, the Caleb Menge. I can move it right on up. But it doesn't actually matter, right? Because he would just be paying to not really do that much. But now, of course, I can move Menge and the Yule Persodi. That is good. That is really good. And we're gonna get a fairly big row. Feels good. All the units are pretty highly boosted. but we do have the Tainted Ale, so we can set up a 1 and a 2. And let's see, fairly big row, 2 great swords, a 1 and a 2, a Dead Graydon. That's the recipe for glory. Glory, I tell you. You're sinking all those points into that. Imagine if we had some tall unit removal. I mean, at this point, if we had played tall unit removal instead of the cards we have in our hand, which is Regis, it wouldn't have been enough. The only thing that is ever enough is 2 great swords and a Regis. There we go, setting up a 1, setting up a 2, and do the Regis dance. Ooh. We win by a significant amount of points. That's 2 DJs in a row that got wrecked. I'm not going to show you the last game. It was a match against another Eist. It's not a mirror match. It's not a Regis deck, but it's just a normal Eist deck. My Regis wasn't that impressive, so it didn't make the cut, but it did win, and I did rank up to rank 1. I did go 6-0 with this deck today. But this is the type of deck that as soon as it becomes remotely popular, people are gonna be really able to play around it, like really easily. So grab it while it's hot. If you want to try this out, you got to do it now. You got to do it quickly. Of course, if you're playing in the low ranks, then you might get away with playing this whenever. But yeah, if you want to try out this deck, then you got to do it as soon as possible before people start catching on. They caught on to our mill plan. Mill dropped in efficiency by a whole lot after it became sort of a thing. Sorry about that. But yeah, grab it while it's hot. Enjoy some Eist Regis gameplay. And I hope you enjoyed seeing my gameplay. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, there's a really quick and easy way to let me know. I don't know if you knew this, but there's a button called the like button. And you gotta click that because that tells me that you enjoyed this video, that you enjoy my content, you want to see more stuff like this. And if you click the subscribe button, like, that's an even bigger button. And let me tell you this, the subscribe button, it allows you to follow me, my channel, and my content, so you'll always be told when there's new stuff. And I'm explaining the basics of YouTube to you. Do you even need this? You probably don't. But that does it for me. Have a nice weekend, you guys. I'm gonna try to have a nice weekend. I always try. It's not always easy, but I try. And this was definitely a really solid start. And hopefully, maybe you'll play some Eist Regis, and it'll make your weekend even more sweet. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one, and until next time, bye. The Regis dance.